Well, Congress is doing what they do best, and this is not much of anything. Republicans and Democrats can't agree. Even Republicans and Republicans can't even agree on what they want. And a government shutdown is looking more and more likely. Who's to blame? Well, if you ask Republicans, Democrats are to blame. If you have to ask Democrats, Republicans are to blame. And yeah, the U.S. House is looking to vote on a stopgap government spending measure here on Thursday. Even so, this is just a temporary government spending measure to try to keep the government open and prevent over 1 million government employees, people that work for the government, from to keep their jobs. Speaker McCarthy is running out of options to stop a shutdown as conservatives balk at a new plan. Republicans in this want even more cuts. Remember, Republicans are just looking to cut, cut, cut. You might be for this, you might be against this. But an 8% cut to domestic spending here yet again, with exceptions for the military and veterans funding this time around. Remember that the last government funding bill had actually cuts to military funding last time. We went back to previous spending levels, which was technically a cut and did not include any raises for inflation. So no cuts this time around, but no increases for inflation. Majority of the Secure the Border Act of 2023, which includes calls to finish the wall at the southern border, severe restrictions to asylum access, increases to the number of border agents, requirement to detain migrants or bring them back to Mexico if they can't be returned to their home country. I think that the majority of us know we have a vast problem at the southern border. And I'd be surprised if the Democrats don't agree with this. Um, I think even Biden has started to realize that we have a major problem at the southern border. Believe it or not, we've actually had two different times here, at least, because I remember reporting on this. One back in July of 2022, Biden administration to close border wall gaps in Arizona. Again, you can see the dramatic kind of turnaround here. This isn't really on a large scale, but President Biden is actually closing some gaps and fixing some parts of the wall. A dramatic turnaround from where they were at the beginning of their administration to try to at least stop some of the illegal migrant crossings coming in. Okay. So they at least are trying to get them to come in to the border access points where they catch them instead of them getting through the wall and just running through and not getting caught. So they have actually, again, these are headlines that you can just look up. Biden administration working on more fixes to border wall. And I think that, you know, it's a real common misconception that we have an open border policy. We've never really had an open border policy, but I think the border wall has really been accepted by a lot more Americans as the time has gone through. Um, I think the problem with people seeking asylum, if you happen to not be born in the United States and you actually wanted to come to a better life, the problem with it is that it's very, very difficult now because the slots are just filled. So if you wanted to come into the United States and have a better life, I want to say virtually impossible, not quite. All the slots are filled. So if you wanted to actually get a date to do that, it's like years from now. So I think that is the problem for people that actually want to come into the United States. So, yeah, I think again, I'm not an expert in this area, but you got to get a sponsor and all that stuff, and that makes it more likely. That is the trouble for people trying to seek a better life and trying to come into the United States. But I think the border walls definitely helped because people can't just run through, and then having to try border guards trying to catch people 24 hours a day. Um, it's significantly helped for sure. You guys can let me know your thoughts here in the comment section. But this way, there's basically like access points where the border wall's there. They come in through an access point, and then the guards just catch them and put them into detainment centers, and then they go through the process. The real one of the main sticking points right now is that Republicans want more and more cuts. They're actually threatening to impeach. I guess impeach is I don't know. Some people think it's the right word, some people don't. But they're kind of thinking Republicans want to kind of impeach Kevin McCarthy because he hasn't fulfilled all these like different things that he's supposed to have done as the Republican speaker, Matt Gaetz especially. And we might be seeing more pressure on him to get more stuff done. I think the impeachment inquiry on President Biden is just one thing. And we're going to be seeing a lot more of that here. The government shutdown is very likely at this point here. I actually think a government shutdown actually is a very negative looking thing on President Biden. Because whoever a president is during a government shutdown, it just looks negative on whoever the president is at that time. We also will be having the Republicans holding the first impeachment hearing next week to subpoena Hunter Biden bank records. Quote, the hearing will focus on constitutional and legal questions surrounding the president involvement in corruption and abuse of public office, House Oversight spokesman said in a statement. Congressman James Comer said he believes President Biden accepted a bribe as part of his dealings in Ukraine as vice president. So going back to that, the GOP has yet to find a smoking gun to back those claims. We will see. Also, from the Maui fires that happened in Lahaina, remember the massive banyan tree? Remember that me and my wife and my son and my family were there previously. Maybe I'll have my wife overlay a video of it here, right here. So remember this banyan tree? It's a massive tree, and the roots kind of come down and spring from. They kind of come down, and the roots go, and they just they come down and they sprout new roots, and it's just a massive, massive tree, and it's kind of a symbol of Maui, and it's one of the greatest tourist attraction. This tree's like over 150 years old, and the fire came through it. And I remember I was in a San Francisco Great Redwoods Forest previously. And maybe my wife can show this picture here. And I remember seeing trees there that had survived great forest fires from hundreds of years ago. Massive forest fires came through there, and the trees were hit by the fires, but survived. Kind of makes you think how amazing nature is. Well, take a look at what is happening right here. The fires did go right through this tree. Take a look now.
Sign of the resilience on Maui tonight. Lahaina's historic banyan tree showing signs of life following the devastating wildfires there 3 weeks ago. Its leaves burned by the flames. Officials say there is now new life in the roots. The tree standing for 150 years, now a symbol of hope and rebirth for thousands who call Maui home.
Lahaina banyan tree is showing even more signs of life after sustaining damage in the fire. These groups of leaves are sprouting. Arborists volunteering to save the 150-year-old tree say they're good signs for long-term recovery.
So yeah, an amazing symbol of Maui, hopefully coming back, the spirit of Maui. So let me know your thoughts here in the comments. I'll keep you up to date here. Yeah, if you haven't yet, subscribe down below. Click the bell icon. Thanks for liking and sharing these videos. Click here to see the NATO warning, from the NATO chief about what is coming here. Or click here to see the Fed's announcement coming here within 24 hours. Click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.